Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the Islamic Republic of Iran vows to defeat what its top defense official termed the American Zionist front as tensions between Washington and Tehran continue to mount. Washington has ordered all of its non-emergency government workers to immediately leave Iran's western neighbor Iraq for fear of an imminent escalation. Russian President Vladimir Putin has offered to serve as a mediator between the United States and Iran, as Washington is apparently seeking a diplomatic channel that will effectively diminish the prospects of war. The Islamic Republic of Iran vowed to defeat what its top defense official termed the American Zionist front as tensions between Washington and Tehran continue to mount. Multiple Iranian news agencies published remarks that were made by Iranian Defense Minister Amir Hatami, who sought to signal Tehran's readiness for any possible development by underlining that the Islamic Republic of Iran stands at the peak of defense military preparedness to counter any threat or act of aggression. General Hatami further insisted that the Trump administration's pressure campaign against the Ayatollah regime was nothing short from a declaration of war. He said that after numerous failed attempts to subdue Tehran by means of malicious plots, the Americans embarked on waging a severe, all-out war on the Islamic Republic by means of economic tools. The Iranian defense minister vowed that these efforts will fail and that eventually the Islamic Republic will defeat its enemies, the United States, Israel, and its allies. In related news, the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps held a meeting of its top military commanders in Tehran, during which the IRGC commander warned that Iran is on the verge of a full-scale military confrontation. The recently appointed commander of the IRGC, Major General Hossein Salami, cautioned his subordinates that the current escalation has presented the most decisive moment for the Islamic Revolution because the enemies of Iran have come to the battlefield with all their capabilities. That said, Salami insisted that the Islamic Republic will prevail. Meanwhile, Washington has ordered all non-emergency government workers to immediately leave Iran's western neighbor Iraq. A U.S. State Department spokesperson said the withdrawal was based on a security assessment, which, according to Pentagon sources, intelligence reports suggest that Iranian-backed militias in Iraq, which follow the directives of the IRGC's Quds Force, have deployed rockets near bases housing U.S. forces. Fearing an imminent escalation, Iraqi officials have urged the Iranian-backed militias, specifically the Popular Mobilization Forces, El-Hashd al-Sha'bi in Arabic, to refrain from taking any action that could provoke American retaliation. According to senior member of Iraq's National Security Council, Saeed al-Jayashi, over the course of the last 2 days, there have been continuous meetings with all the groups to convey the Iraqi government's message that if anyone does something, it is their responsibility, not Iraq's. Al-Jayashi further underscored that the Iraqi government is responsible for protecting American interests in Iraq, and as such, Baghdad will become the enemy of anyone who does something against U.S. interests. Meanwhile, in Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump held a meeting with Swiss President Uli Muller amid multiple reports that the Swiss government may facilitate discussions between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran over the ongoing standoff. While awaiting the arrival of his Swiss counterpart, President Trump was asked whether the United States was going to war with Iran.
Mr. President, are we going to war with Iran? Hope not.
Trump's apparent reluctance to discipline Iran over its malign behavior by means of a military confrontation has boosted the confidence of the mullahs in Tehran, including the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who sought to reassure his followers earlier this week that an all-out war was off the table. That said, the Iranian leadership is vocally adamant on refusing any form of negotiations with the United States.
بنا نیست انجام بگیره و انجام هم نخواهد گرفت به توفیق الهی نه ما دنبال جنگیم، اونا هم به صرفشون نیست که دنبال جنگ باشن، میدونن که به صرفشون نیست. مذاکره سمه برای مذاکره ما و آمریکا تا وقتی آمریکا این نیست که الان هست.
Nevertheless, the United States is apparently making extensive efforts to alleviate the situation in order to avoid a military escalation. According to a State Department statement, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called the leader of Oman, Sultan Qaboos bin Said, to confer about the threat posed by the Islamic Republic. No additional details were available from their phone conversation. It is important to explain, however, that the Sultanate of Oman has long served as an intermediary between the West and the Islamic Republic. Among others, it served as the host state of secret discussions in 2013 when the United States, under the Obama administration, was negotiating the 2015 nuclear agreement with Iran. Picking up on Washington's efforts to seek a diplomatic channel for talks with Iran, Russian President Vladimir Putin said earlier this week that Moscow is ready to assist both the United States and Europe in mediating a desired agreement. During a joint press conference with his Austrian counterpart, Alexander von der Bellen, President Putin stressed that Russia will seek to extinguish the flames if the United States and Europe would be sincere about their intention.
Ну, посмотрим, что будет происходить. Россия не пожарная команда, мы не можем все это подряд спасать, что от нас в полной мере не зависит. Мы свою роль сыграли, мы и дальше готовы такую же позитивную роль играть, но это зависит не только от нас, это зависит от всех партнеров, от всех игроков, включая и Соединенные Штаты, и европейские страны, и Иран.
President Putin also insisted that while the United States instigated the tense situation by withdrawing from the 2015 nuclear treaty, Iran will ultimately be subject to bearing responsibility if it abandons the multilateral agreement.
Американцы вышли, договор разрушается, европейские страны не могут ничего сделать для его спасения и не могут реально работать с Ираном для того, чтобы компенсировать потери в экономической сфере. Но как только Иран сделает первые шаги в ответ, сам заявит о том, что откуда-то выходит, на завтра все забудут, что инициаторами разрушения были Соединенные Штаты, и вина на все будет возложена на Иран.
Iran has officially abandoned this week some of its commitments under the 2015 nuclear deal with world powers, following an order from its National Security Council less than a week after the Islamic Republic notified China, France, Germany, Russia, and the United Kingdom of its decision in response to Europe's failed attempts to bypass U.S. sanctions that have effectively crippled Tehran's economy. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7IsraelNews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. For more updates from Israel and its region, please join our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel at TV7 Israel News. And I would like also to personally encourage you to become a supporter of our productions from Israel. Keep praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have a Erev Tov and Shabbat Shalom, and we will see you again on Monday at the same time.